judge, citing a risk of irreparable harm, has temporarily restricted Elon Musk's government efficiency team from accessing a critical Treasury Department payment system. The judge's order, issued early Saturday, temporarily halts access to a sensitive payment system that distributes Americans' tax returns, Social Security benefits, disability payments, and federal employees' salaries. U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer ordered the destruction of any downloaded information from the payment system by anyone given access to it since January 20, citing the risk that the new policy presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. A hearing on the matter was set for February 14. The White House called Saturday's order judicial overreach. Grandstanding government efficiency speaks volumes about those who'd rather delay much-needed change with legal shenanigans than work with the Trump administration of ridding the government of waste, fraud, and abuse, White House spokesperson Harrison Fields told CNN in a statement. Engelmeyer's ruling was in response to a suit filed by New York Attorney General Letitia James and 18 other state attorneys general against the Trump administration. Trump and Musk have upended the federal workforce in their quest to shrink the government, sparking chaos, fear, anger, and multiple lawsuits that have prompted judicial action. Musk also offered a defense of the access in a social media post Saturday, saying that DOJ and the Treasury Department jointly agreed to requirements involving government payments, including that all outgoing government payments have a payment categorization code, which is necessary in order to pass financial audits. The above super obvious and necessary changes are being implemented by existing, long-time career government employees, not anyone from at DOJ. It is ridiculous that these changes didn't exist already. Musk added. Saturday's order came on the heels of another court ruling temporarily blocking the administration's attempts to dismantle the U.S. Agency for International Development. And a federal judge paused a Thursday deadline for the administration's so-called buyout offer to federal employees while more proceedings on the program's legality played out. That followed earlier federal court rulings halting a sweeping federal spending freeze. The suit from the attorneys general alleges the team led by Musk and staffed by young associates categorized as special government employees have been unlawfully granted access to the Treasury system that previously was restricted to specific government employees. The effort by what the Trump administration calls the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOJ, is intended to cut government costs drastically but has sought access to critical computer systems, including the Treasury payment system, at the objection of others in the agencies, as CNN previously reported. DOJ's actions have ignited a tense political debate and emergency court proceedings over its access to the system and the administration's potential interest in using it to turn off payments as it chooses. The conduct of DOJ members presents a unique security risk to the states and state residents whose data is held, the lawsuit said. The payment system offers services for more than 250 federal agencies and is the conduit for an extraordinary swath of critical individual payments. It is central to the operations of the U.S. government and the lives of millions of Americans. The administration's efforts have drawn the wrath of Democratic senators as well as unions and protesters concerned about Musk's incursion into the private data of U.S. citizens. Musk and his DOJ team have sought to disrupt or gain access to a number of government nerve centers, including those responsible for the federal workforce, real estate portfolio, computer systems, and the Trump administration's first moves to upend the federal government were felt most acutely at USAID, after the president placed a freeze on most foreign aid. In the separate court decision late Friday involving USAID, another federal judge ordered the Trump administration to halt its plans to put at least 2,200 employees at the agency on administrative leave and required the temporary reinstatement of 500 other Philippines, AP, one U.S. service member and 3 defense contractors were killed Thursday when a plane contracted by the U.S. military crashed in a rice field in the southern Philippines, U.S.
Indo-Pacific Command said.
The aircraft was conducting a routine mission providing intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support at the request of our Philippine allies, the command said in a statement. It said the cause of the crash was under investigation. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines also confirmed the crash of a light plane in Maguindanao del Sur province. It did not immediately provide other details. The bodies of the 4 people were retrieved from the wreckage in Ampatuan town, said Amir Jihad Tim Ambaladto, a safety officer of Maguindanao del Sur. Indo-Pacific Command said the names of the crew were being withheld pending family notifications. Advertisement. Windy Beatty, a provincial disaster mitigation officer, told the Associated Press that she received reports that residents saw smoke coming from the plane and heard an explosion before the aircraft plummeted to the ground less than a kilometer, about half a mile, from a Nicolas Sarkozy, the former president of France, has been fitted with an electronic bracelet following his conviction in a corruption case. According to prosecutors, this is the first time in France that an ex-president has been subjected to such a measure. After Sarkozy was found guilty of attempting to illegally influence a judge, France's highest appeals court ordered him in December to wear the bracelet for 1 year. The prosecutor's office announced that the 70-year-old Sarkozy's electronic bracelet has been installed at his home. A source close to the case revealed that a judge summoned the former president on his birthday, February 1, and informed him that he would be required to wear the bracelet starting February 7. This bracelet serves as an alternative to spending a year in prison. The prosecutor's office stated that the right-wing politician, who served as president from 2007 to 2012, will only be allowed to leave his home between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., meaning he will not be permitted to travel. Due to Sarkozy's involvement in another case and his obligation to appear in court 3 days a week, his curfew will be extended by an additional hour and a half on those nights. In the court sessions that began last month and will continue until April 10, Mr. Sarkozy has been accused of receiving illicit financial assistance from Muammar Gaddafi, the then leader of Libya. This matter dates back to 2007, prior to his election. Sarkozy's lawyer stated that he continues to contest the conviction for abuse of influence and will file a complaint with the European Court of Human Rights this month after exhausting all legal avenues in France. The former French president can legally apply for parole, which is granted to individuals aged 70 and older. Since Mr. Sarkozy's defeat in the 2012 presidential election, legal troubles have overshadowed him. Nevertheless, he remains an influential and well-known figure who frequently meets with Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. In a case that led to his house arrest, a court found that Sarkozy and his former lawyer, Thierry Herzog, had made a corruption pact with Judge Gilbert Azabert to gather information about an investigating judge. This deal was made in exchange. The trial was held after investigators intercepted 2 official phone lines of Sarkozy to examine a separate case regarding allegations of illegal campaign financing and discovered that he also had a third unofficial line. This phone line, named Paul Bismuth, had been used solely for his communication with Herzog since 2014. The contents of these phone calls led to a corruption conviction in 2021.